2-1.
Hey. Hey, John.
Hey, Mara. 3-2-1.
3-2-1. Oh, another crazy day in paradise.
Yes, it is.
I can't believe the day is half gone. I can't wait till our wild night tonight. Another wild date night tonight.
The time just flies, man.
Yeah, it does. Are you logging us on, buddy?
I'm getting there. Feels like 17 degrees outside.
And what does it say it is?
30.
Oh, really?
Yep.
But it feels like 17?
Because of the wind.
That's crazy. Busy logging us on, John.
Okay, here we are. Hi, Glenda. Good to see you.
Yeah, we thought we're just going to periodically jump on when...
I should go higher.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, hang on. I got to change the camera.
This is to wing it. In the last minute, I changed my mind of how I was going to do this.
That looks better. Thanks for sprinkling, Glenda.
Yeah, thank you. So...
hey, Candy. Good to see you. She says, oh, a snippet. Yay. It's
yeah.
20 degrees in Iowa.
The fun part of the snippet is I'm just randomly I'm just gonna slide this over here. I'm just gonna randomly hop on with not all the preparation and do a little project. And it's great if you can catch me live, but if you don't, that's fine too. I understand.
Hi, Ruth. Good
Not
to see you.
everybody is hovering in the background waiting for us. So, should we say this is Marilyn and John with Done by Me, coming to you live from Magnolia Hall on the Delaware with a fun snippet, no makeup, just come on. I realized that I was going to do something different, and I'll tell you what I was going to do. Same kind of project, but different. But, so I'm missing a couple things, but I'll tell you what they're going to be, and then I'll put them in the picture later. So we still have white snow, don't we, John?
Yes.
And we're supposed to have more snow.
Allegedly Saturday morning.
Allegedly Saturday morning. So we're hunkered down. We had a wild date night last night, and I'll post pictures later today. And we have another one planned for tonight. Just full of fun out here. Everybody will want to join us for all this festivities. But we're plugging along on the house, and I'm having more aggressive breathing problems. So I slow down, I take some rest, and just pace myself.
Hi, Carol Sweeney. Good to see you.
Hi, Carol. So John convinced me that we cannot go out and buy a piano and get that up. How many? 4 or 5 flights of steps.
Hi, Randy. Good to see you.
Up to a really tiny room.
It's 30 degrees, but it feels like 17 because of the wind.
But did you guys just love
Candy
that
says
piano?
white snow's better than yellow snow.
Yeah, it is. Much better. But did you guys love that piano? And I'm like, oh boy, if we were on like one level or something, I definitely would have somebody bring that in, because that is amazing. And you always hear of people getting rid of pianos, the old pianos. I guess like when we were young, people took piano lessons, and every school teacher knew how to play piano. When I was young, people said, you should be an elementary school teacher. I'm like, I can't be because I don't know how to play the piano.
It is, Randy. It's colder than yesterday.
Yeah. And but do you remember
Carol
that?
says, I'm no fun at all.
You should be here. It's just full of fun and festivities.
Yeah, I'm the boring one in the group.
Last night we had salmon cakes. We had fresh fish the night before, and I saved some of it, and I flaked it up, and I made salmon cakes, stewed tomatoes, and
French fries.
And homemade French fries.
Delicious.
I had those big baking potatoes. I cut them up, soaked them in ice water, and then baked them in the oven with a little olive oil. They were really delicious.
Amazing,
and sea salt.
amazing.
John gorged himself, and every night he's like, I'll just finish that off. And then all night he's thrashing on the sofa. 6 hours of TV watching, listening to John thrash on the sofa. How he ate too much. Right, John?
Right, Mary.
says, but it tastes so good. So anyway, I forgot to tell you yesterday, and I wore it again today, so I could tell you today. This is another one of the sweaters I made like 50 years ago. I tend to go, surprisingly, with conservative colors for the yarn, and this was real good wool yarn like the other sweater. All of them that I made, I used good wool from a wool shop. Thanks for the hearts, guys. I can see them. And I worked at the needlework shop. My friend owned it, and she sold yarn there, and she had an instructor that gave classes, and I took quite a few classes from her. I'm like, you'll see somewhere along the line, I must have 200 baskets I made. If I learn something, then I'm obsessed with it, and I do it for quite a while. And when I get the sewing room clear enough that I can give you a tour, I'll show you a lot of the things I did over the years. I might not still have something I made, but I still have the supplies. Because
Andy says she loves seeing your handcrafted sweaters.
Oh, thanks. And when I get some area cleaned out, there's a trunk someplace
And more heart.
that must, thanks for the hearts, guys, that must have 50 sweaters that I made. So I got a little discount because I worked in the shop. And I did, while I was there, she needed somebody to finish pillows. And I did all the pillow finishing. She showed me how to do it. I did not do the needlepoint finishing because that's more like upholstery and a bit more challenging. And actually, there was a woman a few towns away from us that was from China, and she painted canvases. And if you are an old-time needlepointer, her name was Teresa Lee, and she did beautiful canvases, and they were like fans and things like that. And I can show you because I did some of hers. But she would send them to China, and they would finish them and send them back. They were far cheaper, even with her shipping cost and her finishing costs. They were far cheaper by sending them over there. And that was like 50 years ago, 40 years ago. And I always remember, if you're doing the typical needlepoint stitch, it's an hour a square inch to do needlepoint. So sometimes Teresa Lee didn't have time to send it to China and have it come back if she wanted a stitch sample, and I would stitch for her. And I tried to do it faster than an hour an inch because I'd be pulling all-nighters trying to get it done. You know, when you're young and foolish and you need the money, you do all kinds of things. Another time I'll tell you all the different ways I've earned money in my life. All honest living, but some of them, hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done.
Hi, Donna. Good to see you.
So we're going back, and I showed you, I don't know whether you remember when I showed you all my aqua color pottery, and it started with a couple pieces that were my grandmother's, and my mother would pull out every year this one little dish, and she said that my grandmother started bulbs in the wintertime, and they'd be on the kitchen table, and it's an inexpensive project. And so I always had bulbs on my table too in the wintertime. You know, it's so dreary, and I love flowers and all that. So we did order this paperwhite kit. I spent money, can you believe it? And paperwhites look like that. They look like a white daffodil. They're really pretty. And they're notorious for a forced winter bulb.
Hi, Linda. Good to see you.
So what I was going to do was put the paperwhites, plant them in this white tureen that I have, and use pebbles and water and do them in here. But the kit came with soil, this plastic pot, and 3 bulbs. So I was all set for doing it with, I'll show you here, some white pebbles that somewhere I needed for a project years ago. And as you clean out, you find all this stuff. So I had these pebbles. So I was going to put the white pebbles in here, put the bulbs in here, and put water, no soil. But then I started thinking, I don't know whether I like that idea. So I thought I would take the plastic flower pot they gave me. I did have a different dish and everything. I kept changing my mind. And I wasn't going to plan for any of the snippets, but somehow, and this will just fit right in, kind of right in here. Let's see if I can get this in here good. And it just kind of fit in there. And then it had a little cube of soil, and you were supposed to soak the soil ahead, and that little hockey puck ends up becoming a big thing of soil. So that's how they can ship it. But I thought, oh, I'm not going to have enough time to soak it. It's like 5 minutes before we're going to go on. And I'm like, John, grab me a bag of potting soil, which he did. But in the meantime, I kind of broke this up and got it going. So I'm just going to put that in my flower pot right in here. Have you guys grown these paperwhites before? Normally I do them in water, and I'll show you something I did. But these, you're just going to put them in here in the soil, and remember, I don't like to read directions, so I didn't. I'm just winging it. At least I'm consistent, right, John?
I'll read it if you want.
Here, do you want to read it, John? So
Do you
John
really
will read.
want to know?
Sure. John will read the directions. And it probably said soak the soil in water, which I assumed that, and so. And it probably says for like an hour or something like that, and I only
Carol
did.
Sweeney says, we do them every year in water. And Linda says, I have some paperwhites in my front garden.
Yeah, they're beautiful. You can grow them outside. What are the directions say?
It says, drop, grow, mix the disc in a container. Slowly add 2 to 5 cups of warm water. Position the bulbs with the pointed ends up. Add the grow mix around each bulb so the point end is about 1/2 inch from the surface. Keep at room temperature in a bright location. Soil needs to be kept slightly moist. Use tepid water. When the flower blooms, keep at a direct sunlight to prolong the flowering period. As the stem grows, turn the pot occasionally to prevent the stems from leaning toward the light. It may be necessary to support the stems and flowers so the plant will not topple.
Yeah, I've had them topple over on me in the past.
Hi Jamie, good to see you.
So, there it is in there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, which I didn't decide to do it in here with soil until the last minute. I'm going to take sphagnum moss, which is out in the
Linda
barn.
loves the dish.
And I'll put sphagnum moss around here and it'll look so much prettier. And you can always put some ornamentation in with the flower if you want, make a support and make it look.
Candy says she doesn't do paperwhite. She doesn't care for the smell, but her husband has all their saved amarella bulbs planted, and some are 15 or more years old.
Yeah, I have an amaryllis
Hi Lori,
we ordered
good to
also.
see you from Canada.
Hi Lori. We'll do this. I'll do this at another time, but I wanted to get this and done, and I thought it would look cute in here, and then I'll put the moss so it's kind of hanging over and covering the bulbs will come up. And if I need a stake, I'll put that in, but it won't be able, the flowers won't be heavy enough to topple this container. I've had them topple over out of the container. They've gotten so tall. So that's the first project. And I could have actually put some of these pebbles in the bottom for drainage. When the water runs through, it would keep it from root rotting. But that was that project. And so now I want to show you, how long ago did you think I started these, John?
Oh, at least a week.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks. I started these, and they're the paper whites, and I used pebbles that I'm not sure where. I grabbed them someplace on a walk, maybe off somebody's driveway, or I'm not sure. But I got these, and you can see the paper whites are growing in here. You can see their roots. Can you see the roots, John?
Yes.
There's not a glare, okay. And you can see how far they're getting. And being in the jar will help them from toppling over. And I wasn't sure when I planted them. Typically, if I plant them in a jar, I'll put jute or something around the top. But I couldn't decide what I wanted. And so today, I thought before they're finished blooming, I think I'll put the some country green fabric around the top.
Candy says, growing flowers in the house in the winter, awesome.
Yeah, isn't that fun? And everybody wanted me when I was doing the quilting, they said, tear it, tear it, tear it. And I didn't feel like tearing for that, as it puckers. But everybody saw my walk of shame.
Lori says, you have such amazing ideas. She loves watching.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate you coming on and giving us your most valuable gift, your time.
From Canada.
Yeah, from Canada. And so, let me see here. I'm just going to tear it. I'm going to go with that, like, what's the guy's name from the Great British Bake Off?
Gonna be rough and ready.
Yeah, what's his name?
Paul Hollywood.
Paul Hollywood, about things that aren't finished as neatly as he deems. He says it's rough and ready. And so that's what this is, a torn piece, rough and ready. But this will just finish the top off a little bit. I hate to put too much on here. My dad would always say, don't gild the lily. When the flower is so beautiful, you kind of hate to do too much to take away from what it is. And so we'll just put the little bit of green on the top. So it shouldn't...
Lori says you give her inspiration to pass her time.
Oh. I try to think of fun things, and it's so cheery having flowers. And I told you, my father always had flowers in the house.
Well, thanks, Randy. Randy says you always have great ideas for
Oh,
crafts.
thanks. My dad was the most romantic person ever. Not only did he write lovely love notes to my mother and beautiful cards, he always had flowers in the house and did special things. And it may have been something he gathered from the woods or from the roadside. Oh, thanks for the hearts, guys. Or from the roadside or something. And I know when I'm driving down the road, I see these beautiful orange lilies, and in the summer, beautiful flowers that I would rather see natural flowers than the flowers that come from like Holland or something like that. Not that they're not beautiful, but I'm more of a natural kind of a flowers gathered from your garden or whatever. So that's the second thing. So we have the bulbs here, and I'll put the moss on and I'll show you. It'll finish it off and make it look better.
Is it just plain water in the jar, or did you add some
No,
fertilizer?
just plain water. New Jersey water. Water. And the pebbles, which I told you I wanted the more country look, and I found I had these, and they're like not white. They're not like the processed white ones. But the other ones said they came from Glowfish.
Hi, Shelley. Good to see you.
So I guess they're for like a pond or something like that. I don't know where I got them. I had a few bags of them. And if you saw the table setting, that I had the Christmas tree in like a vintage coffee urn. And when was that urn from? Like the 20s or something? It was much older than I thought.
Maybe.
And I put a container in there because I didn't want to put it right in the coffee thing. I put a jar in and I put the white pebbles in, and then I put the Christmas tree, cut Christmas tree in it. The tree's only about 3 feet tall.
Lori loves flowers and flower gardens. Hi, Pat. Good to see you. She says, how you doing, Marilyn? It's very nice to have plants in the winter. Love watching your ideas.
Oh, thanks. So then the
Carol
last
says,
one.
I have flowers in my room all the time. At present, I have 3 daisies that bloomed in our garden. They are confused about what time of year to bloom.
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa. Good to see you.
So we'll see how this goes. It might be too early for it, and we have, what are you pointing to?
Hearts.
What?
The hearts.
Thanks for the hearts. It may be too early for it, and it may be too cold right now, but we'll see. I thought, oh, well, I'll cut these. When I was coming back from the barn, I passed a forsythia bush, and I like the forsythia just be wild. I know a lot of people trim them all back and shape them, and that's great, but I prefer, because it's along the edge of the woods, and we have some along the drive, which kind of looks like you're going back in time when you come from the street to our house.
Hi, Judy. Good to see you.
I want it to look like you're going 200 years back in time.
More hearts.
And thanks for the hearts. So I cut the forsythia, and if you can see, there are little buds on there. So we'll see how they go. They're not as far as long as normally when I cut them, and the weather has been very inclement the last couple weeks, really bitter cold. So we'll see how it goes. But I thought at least the vase is canary yellow like the flowers will be in the spring.
Randy
so
wants to know, do you have house plants?
Yeah, I have a lot of house plants.
What's Monday?
Mondays water the house plants. So it's nice. Every Monday. And in the summer, as soon as it gets nice weather, my job gets greatly reduced because most of the house plants go outside. I don't put the African violets out, but I put a lot of the other ones out. And I've wintered over poinsettias. Remember, I have that little key lime tree, and I'm using the limes off that, and I have another tree which is little oranges, and I should post a picture of that. That is covered with oranges.
Linda says she feels the same way about the azaleas, natural growing.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's wrong. Some
Carol
people
says
have
her water day is Saturday.
Oh, Saturday. Yeah, if I don't set a day, I forget, and all of a sudden 2 weeks go by, and you know. And when I was at school, I had like 100, I had a really long classroom, and it was all windows, and I had probably 100 houseplants in there, and it was a job to water them. And every once in a while, I'd ask the kids to do it, and oh man, it was a big mess. Water was all over everything. Some got water, some didn't. So I just chose to maintain that myself most of the time. And at the end of the school year, you can't leave the plants. I tried to hire the janitor to water them over the summer, but that was a no-go. So I hired a moving man to move all my plants home and for them to vacation on my patio. And then in September, they had to move all the plants back. And what's that big plant called that I have out there?
Out where?
Outside, now it's inside, we cut it way back. Oh,
the trumpet vine.
Yeah, the angel trumpet gets so big, it gets like 8 feet tall, so we drastically give it a crew cut before it comes back in the house, and it's all coming back now, but it's really short. As soon as it goes out again, it will get big.
Candy says she loves the flopping flow of forsythia bushes, but her husband wants them rounded and neat. It's easier to mow, so since she can't do the outside stuff,
Yeah,
he wins.
Whoever does it wins. John likes it because it's not where there's grass. It's kind of like a wooded area on the edge, and it kind of makes it look pretty and natural like that.
Randy
but I
says,
understand.
do you have tips for what tips do you have for house plants, and do you propagate also?
Yeah, I do some, but not a lot because I don't need more house plants. Like if you get that one mother of many or whatever it is, you can't give those plants away fast enough. It's the leaf that has all the little babies on the leaf, and they drop off and they're all over, and you put them in soil, and then you have a million of them, and they're all making babies. And my grandmother was an expert on African violets, and I do that sometimes, but really it's just too many plants anymore. I used to have a jungle in my old house, and here you just can't keep up with everything. It's too much. And you could see what the walk of shame of my sewing room. If you could look beyond all the shame, you could see.
Good to see you. She's a pretty vase. Hi, Ada. Good to see you.
The fabric is all colorized and on the shelves in those cubicles. And I had about 4 more of those cubicles in our last house. I had a really, really big sewing room with like a ceiling that wasn't like this. And it was full of cubicles, and that's what now I have to figure out. I did move all that stuff carefully and get it back in the cubicles, but you can't even get to it now. And so that's what I'm working on. And I wanted you to see the walk of shame, because it really sucks the happiness out of me when I go up the steps, and it's 5 flights up, and a lot of times you throw stuff on the first flight on the side. I'll grab it when I go up. Or then you get it from the first to the second and you throw it there. So there was a lot of gatherings along the way, and so that's what I'm working on, and I wanted you to see how it is. And tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow I'm on at 9 o'clock, and I'm going to show you some of the organization that I've done and how I use things that I have to organize other things. So
Lori says her home was always full of house plants, but later years she struggled to remember to water or keep them alive. But her perennial flower gardens, bushes, and plants outside do extremely well.
Yeah, John's taken over the outside watering for on the patios, and it just got too much, and he didn't understand. I had a Christmas cactus for probably 50 years, and it was enormous, and I'll have to find an old picture of it. I try not to look at the pictures because I would be disappointed. But I explained to him you cannot water straight on in the center, but he watered straight on in the center. And by the time I realized he had annihilated my plant. Is that how I say it, John?
Yeah, I killed it. Candy said she was shocked last night at the grocery store how much orchids cost. They were $55.
Wow.
Carol says they have house plants both upstairs and downstairs. They have 5 hanging from several ceiling beams, and there's no room for any more. And hey, Michelle, good to see you. She says, wow, caught you live again. Yay.
Yay. But I thought I would show you this stuff, and I'll take some pictures of my house plants. I'll get John to make a little reel of that.
Hi, Michelle. Good to see you.
And I'll show you, I'll post some before and after of what we're doing, just little bits of what we're doing. And like I said, I'm on tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. I'm in an event, Stand Tall Crafting, and I'm going to show a fun craft, but it's also a storage craft that we'll be doing tomorrow night. A storage idea, I guess I should say.
Hi, Carla. Good to see you.
So with that, I'm going to let you go, guys. I appreciate you coming on. I'm getting tired standing here. My breathing is a bit labored. So we're going to get off, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll post pictures. So this is the forsythia. This is the paper white that I planted like 2 weeks ago, and how far it's gotten, and it's in water, and the pebbles. And this one I just planted today in the soil, and I'm going to get John to go out in the barn and get me some sphagnum moss, and I'll put that on, and I think that will look really nice and finish off the topping. And so thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate all your support. We're really enjoying it, and I hope you enjoy the snippets, because that's the easiest way for us to go. So
thank you,
talk
Lori.
to you later, and I'm on for sure tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Randy. Take care. Have a good rest of the day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.